lot has been surfacing online in regards to the Caitlin Clark fan base. Now, there is no, say, 10 days away. Well, not even 10. Past that, we're about 8 days. Was saying Caitlin was benched. Ain't nobody. I told y'all. I went back, looked or dealing with something. To what they said about A'ja Wilson. One fan said, boo. Try to make the W, you know what I'm saying, stand on business. If Stephanie do her job, adopted Caitlin Clark, but they like Stephanie White. They like the Fever. They like Clark is out with a back injury because Stephanie White and the Fever.
Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson both out on the same night, and the timing alone has this whole fan base spiraling, because there's already a boycott movement brewing among Clark fans, and it didn't start today, it started with Stephanie White. This isn't some random coincidence people are inventing out of thin air either. Fans have been vocal for weeks that they don't trust how this front office is handling their franchise player, and every new absence just pours gasoline on that fire.
Pitched an argument to the refs. Maybe people would have lightened it up on Caitlin because maybe they would have got hit with flagrants and technicals and all of them things. Not after the game, not when people pitch a bitch online and try to make the W, you know what I'm saying, stand on business. If Stephanie do her job as a coach to protect her player, I feel like we wouldn't be dealing with this. You know, that's just my own personal opinion. Somebody said, I'm out. Won't watch this game to do to the coach for the Fever and their franchise. Stephanie White, you will never understand the loyalty and pride.
Clark got insulted by the whole officiating conversation all season, and now she's straight up injured. And yeah, this is eerily similar to last year's collapse. The pattern people are pointing to isn't paranoia, it's just pattern recognition. Insult, injury, absence, repeat. When you've watched this exact cycle play out once already, you don't need a conspiracy theory to be worried it's happening again.
Stated, it was news coming out about A'ja Wilson not playing, dealing with some ankle injury. That's what they saying it is. I don't know at this point, bro. I don't know. You can't really. I don't want to say that they lying, but Caitlin's not playing. A'ja's not playing. It all look a little.
We're basically sitting right at the 1-year anniversary of Clark's final game from the 2025 season, and that timing is not lost on anybody paying attention. So let's play devil's advocate here for a second. Is it possible her time with Indiana is genuinely running thin? I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'm saying the theory exists for a reason, and dismissing it outright ignores how much tension has built up around this exact roster all season.
That's what they saying it is. I don't know at this point, bro. I don't know. You can't really. I don't want to say that they lying, but Caitlin's not playing. A'ja's not playing. It all look a little spooky, man. It all just look a little spooky. And that's all I'm going to say, man. I ain't even going to get into the A'ja Wilson story. It is what it is. Guys, get down in the comment section right now. Let me.
Here's the wilder theory going around. What if a trade's already been quietly worked out? Or what if Clark has essentially decided if the league won't protect her from these hits, she's just going to sit some of these out the way she did last season? I actually think this take doesn't hold up against what Clark herself has said publicly. She's talked about targeting a return during Indiana's upcoming road trip and said she's feeling a lot better, which is a very different tone than someone who's checked out. But I get why fans are grasping for an explanation after everything this season's already put them through.
Caitlin's not playing. A'ja's not playing. It all look a little spooky, man. It all just look a little spooky. And that's all I'm going to say, man. I ain't even going to get into the A'ja Wilson story. It is what it is. Guys, get down in the comment section right now. Let me know if you guys will be checking out tonight's game. I will watch this one. If it start off boring, I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to cut it off. I ain't going to lie to you. I will cut it off. I think I cut the last game off. I'm going to cut it off. But, yeah, man, hopefully we get back to regularly scheduled content. There's an upcoming week. It's holidays. My birthday. There's just so much stuff going on. Kind of fell behind in creating content.
And then there's the litmus test everybody's watching for. If Clark plays in the All-Star game, that tells you she's finishing the season out. If she sits that one too, get ready, because that's the real signal. I don't love turning an all-star appearance into a referendum on her entire future with this team, but I understand why fans have landed on it as the one data point they can actually track.
I believe Stephanie White kind of, like, when you think about everything that has transpired start of the season till now, if Stephanie White might have challenged some of those calls early on, Stephanie White might have, I don't know, pitched an argument to the refs, maybe people would have lightened it up on Caitlin, because maybe they would have got hit with flagrants and technicals and all of them things, not after the game, not when people pitch a bitch online and try to make the W, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody actually knows what's happening behind the scenes with Clark and this organization, and that's exactly the problem. She has to say the right things in front of the cameras, but none of us are in that locker room. That gap between the public performance and the private reality is where every single one of these theories is being born. And until the Fever get more transparent, that vacuum is just going to keep filling up with speculation.
Definitely be sure to like the video, hype the video, and let me know what games you guys want me to go to for the month of July. It is in a fresh month. It's time to start marking my calendars, get my schedule ready to hit a different state. I think we might go to some road games. I might go to Minnesota. I might come to, I don't know, Dallas. I don't know. But let me know what games you guys want me to go to. And until next time, man, y'all already know how I'm rocking.
Now here's where I have to say I told you so. Everybody clowned this bench conspiracy talk last time out. But go back and watch the film. Clark went to the tunnel twice during that game, and the second time she never came back. That's not a benching, that's an injury, and the fact that nobody from this organization has corrected the record on that tells you they're either sloppy with communication or they just don't feel like they owe fans an explanation. Either way, it's not a good look.
The Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Now, the status report came out yesterday for tomorrow's game, which is today at the Las Vegas Aces. Caitlin Clark is out with what? That legendary back injury. And going back to Caitlin Clark back injury, not to toot my own horn, but last time Caitlin Clark played a basketball game, I was there in attendance. Now, everybody was saying she got benched. Everybody was saying Caitlin was benched. Ain't nobody want to listen to John Liquidator. I told y'all.
Fans in the comments are begging for actual clarity. Is this back injury chronic, or is it just this one incident? Because those are two very different conversations. And honestly, all I wanted this year was to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. Pretty much sums up the exhaustion in this fan base right now. That's not an unreasonable ask, and the fact that it feels like too much to ask for says a lot about how this season's actually gone.
Not to toot my own horn, but last time Caitlin Clark played a basketball game, I was there in attendance. Now, everybody was saying she got benched. Everybody was saying Caitlin was benched. Ain't nobody want to listen to John Liquidator. I told y'all. I went back, looked at the footage, looked at the film. Caitlin Clark was late coming out the tunnel. Caitlin Clark went back to the locker room 2 times during that game. The second time she did not return. I knew then she was hurt. She was hurt. She was hella hurt. Now, ain't nobody gonna tell y'all that, hey, we jacked up. She wasn't there.
This is the take that's been gaining traction all season. If Stephanie White had pushed back harder on the officiating early, challenged more calls, actually advocated for her star player in real time instead of after the fact, maybe Clark isn't absorbing this many hits in the first place. Coach White's post-game comments about consistency in the officiating are real, and she's said them publicly, but there's a fair question here about whether that frustration should have been voiced louder, sooner, and directly at the refs instead of the media.
Started off with Stephanie White. Caitlin Clark gets assaulted. Now we got Caitlin Clark injured. We don't know really when she's coming back, to be honest. This seems very, very similar to last season. See, everybody's not looking at it like this. Now I'm really starting to focus my antennas on everything. And everything being, Caitlin Clark played her last game in 2025, July 13th. We're about, I don't know, let's say 10 days away. Well, not even 10. Past that.
Some of these fan comments are brutal. I'm out. Won't be watching this game. And it's on the coach for the Fever and this franchise. That kind of loyalty/frustration combo is exactly what's fueling this boycott energy. And whether you agree with it or not, It's real sentiment from a fan base that feels like their star isn't being protected.
Tell us more about her back. Is it chronic or due to an injury? Back problems are not minor issues. Definitely not. Miss seeing her play. Definitely miss seeing her play. Somebody said all I wanted this year was to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. I guess it was too much to ask for. I don't believe it was too much to ask for. I believe Stephanie White kind of, like, when you think about everything that has transpired started the season till now, if Stephanie White might have challenged some of those calls early on, Stephanie White might have, I don't know, pitched an argument to the refs, maybe people would have lightened it up on Caitlin.
The Iowa versus Indianapolis comparison here is honestly one of the more interesting takes in this whole video. Iowa is described as Caitlin Clark heaven, this whole other level energy, while Indy comes across as a city that adopted her but loves the Fever and Stephanie White just as much. That distinction matters, because it tells you this fan base's loyalty isn't unconditional the way people assume. There's real tension between we love Caitlin and we're an Indiana sports town first.
Miss seeing her play. Definitely miss seeing her play. Somebody said all I wanted this year was to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. I guess it was too much to ask for. I don't believe it was too much to ask for. I believe Stephanie White kind of, like, when you think about everything that has transpired started the season till now.
And then you've got this comment nailing the actual basketball complaint, that Coach White's post-game outrage doesn't excuse leaving her star player exposed to unnecessary physical punishment on the court, game after game. Add in the fact that Aja Wilson is also out with an ankle injury on the exact same night, and yeah, it does look a little spooky having both of the league's biggest stars sidelined at once. Even if, more likely than not, that's just really bad timing colliding with a fan base that's already primed to see conspiracy everywhere.
Miss seeing her play. Definitely miss seeing her play. Somebody said all I wanted this year was to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. I guess it was too much to ask for. I don't believe it was too much to ask for. I believe Stephanie White kind of, like, when you think about everything that has transpired started the season till now.